was going to say, it certainly has done something up there now. McLean is going. It's a ball four. It doesn't matter. And he'll stand up without a throw. So back-to-back base runners and some trouble for Nyman here with still nobody away. So from 3-2, not able to put him away. Zach Stewart will step in with 2 on and nobody out. A tough spot here on this left-on-left.
This isn't a Wareham team you want to fall behind. They've been really good late in games, and so if you give them a lead, you don't want to allow them to get that and start to try and run away from you.
Nyman, a long look to McLean. Goes with the slider. That's Ross Highfill keeping it in front of him behind the plate. Ross's Mississippi State gear looks just like he's got Commodores colored gear. It's not like that for all these Cape teams. They'll use their school's equipment when they have them. 1-0. And falling behind again here is Nyman, and not a spot you want to have this happen against Zach Stewart out of Missouri State.
No, and Nyman's still having trouble with that mound. He's still just picking at those cleats, trying to get a good grip. It seems like he just can't find that control because he can't find that consistent landing spot.
Sent straight back to the screen. A nice recovery fastball there for a strike. We talked about the numbers from Stewart at Missouri State. Just one hit, though, to start his time here on the Cape with Wareham. Has a double in 16 tries. Nyman a look to second, and now he'll decide to go. Nice breaking ball in there for a strike, and he got the call behind the plate.
Yeah, nice job to even yourself back up and continue to push in this at-bat after falling behind 2-0.
Nice battle here. With Stewart trying to fight off another one, the 2-2. Dropped it in there and comes all the way back from down 2-0 for a big first out, and now a ground ball can get you out of the inning.
Really nice job to work that at bat. Even when he fell behind, he settled himself in, got back in the count, and remained in control. A really nice job with that front door breaking ball to win that lefty-lefty matchup. But a dangerous bat now stepping in Glancy.
That's right, David Glancy in the cleanup spot now. You talked about him a little bit at the top of the broadcast, Zach. And he feasts on these opportunities with runners not only in scoring position, but multiple out there. Kind of sawed him off there a little bit with that fastball. Wasn't really the best of swings from Glancy.
And that's what you like to see if you're working on the mound. When you're going to get a swing like that, it gives you a lot of confidence to continue throughout the at-bat.
A 229 hitter here on the Cape so far. Steps in for the first at-bat tonight against Nyman. Fastball upstairs and away. We've seen that spot miss a couple times when Highfield's wanted it up in the zone. We started a minute early here, 5:59 from the Gov. We want to thank everyone for joining us here. Commodores looking for win number 3 on the season against the Gatemen, who sit a few spots ahead of them in the division. The slider here's popped a mile into the air, just off the infield. Christian Martin gets called off, and out there in right, Tab Tracy comes in, and he'll make the play.
It's the outfielder's ball if it's in the air, and he can get to it, and Tab Tracy comes to make the catch there. Big second out for Nyman, just trying to work his way through this jam.
Tracy made that play maybe 2 or 3 feet off the infield dirt.
Yeah, I don't think he realized that it was going to stay that close when he first called that ball. But like I said, especially for Tracy, a guy that's used to playing center field, he's used to calling any ball that he can get to.
And Christian Martin, too, probably not used to hearing a ball from where that one was going to land be called off by an outfielder. But that's what happened there. They all look the same. Fastball here upstairs to Landon Wallace.
Back-to-back Mountaineers in this order with Wallace and Grant Hussey, who's on deck.
Spent some time with the Nevada Wolfpack a couple of years ago. Now in here with the Mountaineers out of the Big 12. This one in there dropping in nicely. 1-1.
What a year that West Virginia had this year. I mean, they had a chance to outright win the Big 12 going into the end. They couldn't finish it off, but still an outstanding season. J.J. Weatherhold out, I believe, with Chatham as well, and he had a great year this year for the Mountaineers too.
Nice pitch there by Nyman. The slider in and out of the zone, really behind where Wallace is in the box. That was a beautiful pitch.
Yeah, that's that classic back foot slider you're going to see to the right-handed hitter, and it was executed to perfection there by Nyman.
So with 2 on, nobody away, the runners haven't moved since. Nyman trying to get out of it here. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Goes with the slider. Back into the zone. And a nice job. Nyman picks up his second strikeout of the ball game to retire the side. They leave 2, but no threat from the Gatemen with the Commodore bats coming up on the other side of the break here on the Commodores Baseball Network. You can see the mound being attended to a little bit there after probably what Dominic Nyman was saying going back in the dugout. Here are the bats that are going to help Nyman out on the hill. Different middle infield than what we've seen the last couple of nights with Martin getting in there, as is Gavin Keelan. But that's who will do it against the Gatemen, tonight.
Yeah, and you saw Kevin Bazell's name on there. Excited to see him out of Texas Tech. Redshirt freshman, was freshman All-American for the Red Raiders. He was outstanding at the plate, led the Big 12 in doubles. He can really get it done. And now you get a look at Jonathan Batista.
Yeah, Batista coming out of Pitt. You mentioned him in opening the door, Zach. There's some of his numbers right there, obviously trying to get the ERA down, but 36 innings of work. I mean, he has a lot of experience, and he'll look to lower some of those numbers that he had in his collegiate season here on the Cape.
Yeah, just continue to pound that power sinker that he's got, along with the slider that he'll use as a put-away pitch. It's more of a dropping slider than a sweeping slider. It's going to kind of drop off the table to these hitters, but he's going to continue to use it, and a lot of left-handed hitters against the sinker, that can get a lot of ground balls.
There's how the Gatemen are lining up against the bats of the Commodores. We've talked about Nick McLean many, many times. Sebastian Murillo was the shortstop on opening night. He remains there in that part of the middle infield. And Yadi Hernandez behind the plate will be catching the balls and strikes tonight with the first arm to face in Jonathan Batista.
Yeah, Batista sinker slider, as I mentioned. Sometimes we'll mix in that changeup, but the sinker away to the left-handed hitter, you're going to get a lot of balls potentially hit off the end of the bat if he's able to work it off the outside edge of the zone. If he starts it in, it's going to sink into barrels from the left-handed hitters and then try to sink in on the hands of the righties.
Went 4 innings, gave up 3 hits, 2 runs in his only outing so far here on the Cape. He gets his second start here, going up against Joe Redfield. Redfield we've seen periodically in the outfield. He's now in center field tonight. No John Spikerman. He's been the center fielder of record over the last couple of outings. First pitch from Bautista in there for a strike.
Yeah, good job to start Redfield off well.
This one inside. A nice take there by Joe. A lot of accolades for him, and just spent some time in the Baton Rouge Regional. Sam Houston went 1-2 in that stint of games. Drove in 3 runs for them, too, being very productive in trying to keep his boys in it before coming down here to the Cape.
Yeah, he did, and LSU still playing. They're playing Wake Forest tonight. Game first pitch in about an hour.
The winner gets the Gators, from what we've just learned earlier after Florida knocked off TCU 3-2.
That was really close. And a former Commodore, Braden Taylor, almost hit one out to tie it.
With 2 strikes in the
and 2 outs.
And 2 outs. Oh, yeah. 2-2. just slapping his hands there to get a piece of it, and it's foul.
It's always nice to see the former Commodores succeeding all around, whether it be college baseball again or whether it be the pros. I mean, Bryce Miller's exploded onto the scene this year. Adley Rutschman, obviously.
Redfield got a pitch here on the 2-2 and puts it into right field for a base hit. Back-to-back leadoff men reach for both sides. And now you've set up a spot for the newest Commodores you talked about out of Texas Tech. It's Kevin Bazell.
This guy finds gaps and ends up on second base again and again. And you're going to see it throughout this season with Falmouth. I guarantee you that more than a single time he'll be on second base from a double.
This is another Commodore who had some success in a regional. Was in the Gainesville Regional against those Gators that we just talked about being in the national championship now.
He had a hit in 43 of the 55 games this season.
That tells you everything you need to know. Good reason why he's in the 2 spot here tonight. He gets jammed on one here, and this is going to be routine. 4-6, and a nice throw by Murillo to finish off the 3. And just like that, the leadoff base hit of Redfield is a race. With 2 out now, Charlie Condon will step in.
It's not what you want to see, but just getting back into seeing some live ABs and getting the wood back going. Bazell, get going.
It takes a second. It's an adjustment for sure for some of these guys. And
we've seen it all over, though. It's been very rare that we've seen a guy come in and explode right away on any of these teams. It's getting used to things and settling in.
So it's Charlie Condon who steps in. Second pitch swinging here. He gets jammed on it. It's a long run from Wallace, and he actually gets cut off by Nick McLean, who makes a low basket catch there. The Doors get a base hit, but they go down in order. Both teams have a hit through the first inning of the ball game, but still zeros up on the big board. We'll be right back on the other side of the break for the second here on the Commodores Baseball Network.
Hi, I'm Brady Volan. I'm from Westborough, Massachusetts. I go to the University of Massachusetts at Amherst. This summer I'm going to be a game day intern for the Falmouth Commodores, and water is wet.
Hi, I'm Morgan Bull, and I'm from Westfield, New Jersey, and I'll be the social media intern this summer, and I go to Penn State, and I'll be a senior. And a fun fact about me is that I've danced for 46 hours for childhood cancer awareness.
We introduced you to the Commodore starting pitcher. Here's everyone else who will be helping him out, trying to keep the Gatemen off the bases. We just saw Joe Redfield lead off with that base hit. Pretty much the rest of the way, though, outside of Condon, is pretty new. I mean, there's some different guys who have stepped in. Gavin Keelan and Martin haven't played together in some time, it seems like. Colby Shelton out there at third. And Tracy, we've seen him in center. He's now in right, with Ross Highfield behind the plate.
Yeah, you get Ross back. You get a guy like Colby Shelton back into the lineup after his day off yesterday.
It was really good to see him just getting in the other night, swinging the baseball bat a little bit.
He was swinging quick in counts. He wanted to attack, similar to John Spikerman. Those two guys seem to have a similar approach of go, go, go.
So now Grant Hussey steps in, and you know, a trend that we've noticed, and it makes sense when guys first get in here after some time off from, you know, swinging metal bats and whatever from their collegiate seasons, they're typically getting a day off. You know, they'll take some cuts in batting practice, and then we don't see them until probably the next game. That's exactly what happened with Kevin Bazell. We met him yesterday, Zach, and now he's out there playing in the 2 spot, expected to be a contributor tonight.
Yeah, just want to get these guys some ABs and see some pitches.
Well, some pitches there pretty quickly, going right on through Grant Hussey. The drop third strike is the third punch out already for Dominic Nyman, one away.
And this is the Dominic Nyman that we want to see. The guy.
There's a reason he won Conference Pitcher of the Year, as you were talking about, as a Blue Devil this past year. Now with one away, it's Yadi Hernandez. Takes a breaking ball in there. Not really sure where that one missed. It looks pretty good from up here. Not getting the call.
He was top 10 in the country in innings pitched this year.
This one fouled straight back. That time it was that fastball up and away that had not really been close for a strike, but that one you get a swing out of it and much more tempting because it's a lot closer in the zone.
Yeah, and I mentioned the innings pitched, but it can go two ways with that because you can look at it as he can eat up innings, but also he's thrown so many, so they don't want him throwing a ton of innings.
Behind in the count now is Nyman, 2-1. Out of Seton Hall is Hernandez. Works himself to a 3-1 count here.
It's been a couple of weeks since Fenway Day, but Yadier Hernandez is the one guy that really stood out to me of having a really good day at Fenway for the Gatemen. They worked out right before the Commodores, and he looked really good.
And this one is a ball on the changeup down and away, so it's a one-out base runner work. It's the second free pass that Nyman has surrendered. And now runner to a 10-2 for Sebastian Murillo.
Yeah, just trying to continue through. Nothing hurt on that one-out walk. Hernandez moves pretty well for a catcher, but not the biggest stolen base threat over at first. Just try and get a ground ball, roll something up, and get back to the dugout.
Murillo in the season opener against Falmouth reached 3 times in 5 tries. He was a tough man to contend with. This one gets away from Highfill. And standing up easily, rolling into second, is Hernandez. So now there is another runner in scoring position, already the second time that the Gatemen have had a man on second.
Man, just another wild pitch. They've come back to bite the Commodores already quite a few times this season. Most recently that tie against YD, where that wild pitch may have given the Red Sox their only chance to tie up that game and force the tie.
Murillo got jammed here. This one flirting with the bullpen of the Commodores.
Yeah, the bullpen catcher, Willie Baker, having to try and get out of the way there and may have stumbled a little bit.
Nonetheless, a good strike to pick up in the at-bat for Nyman, who picked up that nice strikeout on 3 pitches and now a threat to work with a ball and a strike. There's that fastball again, just trying to get more control on it when looking for the upper outer part of the zone against the righties. A .238 hitter is Murillo to this point in the Cape season. He lines one right back up the middle. It almost got Nyman for a base hit. They're going to hold Hernandez, who stumbles. Fielding the ball is Redfield, and my goodness, that will score a run. I don't think Redfield knew that they were going to send the runner, Zach, and it's 1-0 Wareham.
Well, and and now Murillo's taking second on some bad throws back in. Just got under the glove of Nyman on that flip to him, and that allows the base runner to move up.
A little bit of mistakes there defensively on getting the ball back into the infield, and suddenly Hernandez is replaced by Murillo in a matter of just moments.
And free 90 feet. We've talked about it quite a bit this season, but it's hurt you in a lot of ways.
So we'll have to see what that is ruled as it's being updated to us right now. Who will be assessed the error in that situation?
It is a single at the very least.
That is correct, yes. So the Gatemen on the board. And there's 2 errors now on the board for Falmouth. As that one misses in the dirt. 2-0. Nyman falling behind here to Cologne, the 9-man in the lineup. And now Ross Highfill wants to have a talk. And if anything, more often than not, because we've seen him work with the strikeout, this is maybe just a settle down kind of thing. I mean, not really sure what just happened there, but you got to get back to pounding the zone and do what you were doing a second ago.
Just settle yourself down and get back going. Shane Telfer's warming, and he has been lights out in the bullpen for the Doors this season and trying to find his way through.
So Justin Cologne will work now. Out of Missouri, the Tiger himself hit .236 this year. Only drove in 13 runs, but has a spot to pick up an RBI right here. Well ahead of the count now, 3-0. The lineup will flip to the top with Nick McLean on deck. We saw him with the base hit to lead off the ball game what felt like moments ago, and now a threat for more from Wareham. And it's a 4-pitch walk. There's 2 on. The double play now becomes back into effect with McLean coming in.
Could desperately use a ground ball right now as things are quickly unraveling for the Commodores and Nyman.
Now Landry will come on in. And it looks like the error has been charged to Redfield, which is why Hernandez even scored in the first place. That's expected. But we'll see what else they rule after the ability for Murillo to get onto second.
Yeah, it moves Murillo up officially on an E1 at the moment. That allows him to advance there. No move yet. And now it looks like I think Landry's going to make the call to the pen.
So that just happened. We are going to send it to a break and let you know who's coming in on the Commodores Baseball Network.
The Falmouth Commodores